All right, my little art friends, today, artist steal. We're going to look at appropriation and what that means in 10 slides or less. To get it started, we'll kick off with this piece of work by Banksy. The bad artists imitate, the great artists steal. Pablo Picasso, he crossed it out and wrote his name. Get it? Because he steals? Okay, that's what it's all about, artists steal. Today we're actually going to be most importantly looking in understanding how artists use appropriation by borrowing aspects of other artworks and incorporating it into their own artwork. That's what appropriation means. Hey, let's just take a look at today's artist and I'll give you an example. This is Jeff Koons. He's not my favorite artist. I think he's kind of a little bit of a tool. But like, what is appropriation? That's his artwork right there. Does it look familiar to you? Well, maybe not, but when I was a kid, they had these little blow-up balloon bunnies everywhere. And basically, Jeff Koons just took one of those bunnies and he made it out of like metal or something like that, and he just calls it his artwork. Here's something else you might recognize. This is another Jeff Koons piece. Can you tell what he appropriated to make this piece of artwork? Well, if you guess like a balloon, you're right. That's basically a balloon. Now, this can't be copyright infringement, right? Because anybody can make a blow-up balloon dog. But like, sometimes you can take things and borrow it, and you're not allowed to do that. Like, check this out. This is another Jeff Koons piece here, and you might be like, wow, that's kind of cute. It's like two people and they're holding a bunch of puppies. That's adorable. Well, this is a piece by Jeff Koons, but guess what? He didn't even make it himself. No, what he did was he saw a postcard that like some people were selling like in a little gift shop. I don't know, maybe downtown Southport or something like that. You get the idea. And he saw that postcard and he went to one of his like artist people and he was like, dude, I want you to recreate that postcard, but I want you to make it like a little sculpture so I can sell it. And of course, that's him, right? Like he's commissioning that artist to make the artwork for him, so it becomes his artwork, right? That makes sense. I don't know. Anyway, the people, the Rogers, by the way, that's their name, they saw this and they were like, dude, you just ripped us off. You can't go like stealing us and making a sculpture out of it. And Jeff Koons was like, yeah, I can. And they went to court, and guess who won? The Rogers. Sorry, Jeff Koons, you're kind of a tool. Anyway, let's take a look at Jeff Koons and you can tell me what you think about him. This is about his work. Well, I'll just let him explain it for himself. Listen.
In 1980, I started to encase vacuum cleaners, and I encased them for their newness.
Oh, right. Yeah.
These are supposed to be virginal objects.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And it seemed to me that objects have their most integrity before they're used, when they're brand new. Right. And I realized that these are anthropomorphic. They relate to the individual, but an individual to have integrity really has to participate in life.
Okay, the next slide is One Ball Total, 1985.
After working with vacuum cleaners, I wanted to work with more a sense of a male side of consumerism. At least images which the colors, and these were sports images, were more male-oriented. But this is a one-ball total equilibrium tank, and it's an ultimate state of being. It's
ultimate state of being.
Like the womb.
I don't know what he's talking about. Anyway, that is Jeff Koons right there. I wanted to show you an artist that borrows and appropriates. Hey, here's your project coming right up right here. You are going to make a piece of art that uses appropriation, and I'm going to give you 3 ways to do it. You're either going to redo an old work, you're going to change something about something, or you're going to remix 2 things together. Let me give you an example. Let's say you wanted to redo an old work. Well, this is an example of a tattoo. One's really bad, and then they redid it and they made it better. But they appropriated the idea and the concept of that first piece, and they just redid it. So they redid an old work and they made it better. That's one way to appropriate. Okay, here's another one. This is a famous piece of art. Not the Mona Lisa. No, it's a postcard of the Mona Lisa that Duchamp took, and he wrote on it LHOOQ, and he drew a goatee and a little mustache. And if you don't know what LHOOQ means, in French, it sounds like she has a hot booty. So that's adorable. He changed something about the postcard, he appropriated it, and he made it his own. So you can do that. Find something you already have and change it and make it your own. Or you can remix 2 things together. So you got a spray paint can, and then Andy Warhol did Campbell's soup cans, and then this artist took the concept of the spray can, because he wanted to be a street artist, and he took the idea of the soup can and he remixed the 2 together into one thing. So that's pretty cool. Let me show you some student examples where they have taken artwork and appropriated and made art from the appropriation. Have you ever seen the Rosie the Riveter poster? Well, there it is. This student artist took it actually. She redid it and she made it with like the iPhone, and she changed to a hashtag and gave it the duck lips and everything like that. So she appropriated, borrowed from the old, and made something new. This piece of artwork right here was done in the street with a stencil, and the artist says, like, I like that concept of the fire lane, but I want to make it into Lois Lane, which everybody knows is Superman's girlfriend. So took something regular and old and changed it into something new. Here's someone who was like, I like Winnie the Pooh, but I wonder if I can make him look real. So he was like, I'm going to take all the Pooh characters and I'm going to redesign them and make them real. Here's another idea, just reversing the ideas. Green eggs and ham, well, that's the original Dr. Seuss, changing the colors. What's the opposite of green? Red eggs and ham. So changed everything about it. The orange, the opposite of orange is blue. Get it? See how they did that? Okay, here's all you got to do to brainstorm a little bit. Number one, you could write a list of ideas for changing one part about something, like I mentioned, the mustache on the Mona Lisa. Or you could write a list of ideas about two things you could remix, like the Campbell soup can and the spray can. So that's what I want you to do today. Think about how you're going to make a piece of art using appropriation by either A, redoing an old work, B, changing something about something, or C, remixing two things together. Okay, that's it. We're done. Yeah.